Welcome to the next episode of
Mugs with Buds.
So on this episode, we're bringing you guys something that we like to do at the Learning Center during our meal time. So one of the things that we love to do is to talk with each other, catch up, that kind of stuff. But it also makes meal times a little more interesting at the Learning Center when we play games and have activities for each other. So this game was introduced by our fellow naturalist, Alicia. It's a game called Unnatural Selection. And the whole idea of the game is that you're put into a situation or a scenario, and you're trying to create a creature or an animal that will best survive that situation or that scenario. And throughout the game, you're adding different characteristics or different traits to that character. So we brought the game to play with you guys, playing it with Nate as well. And we're going to see who can best fit this scenario. So to demonstrate, we have our scenario cards. So these are upside down. These are different scenario cards. And then I'm just going to shuffle them, and then I will let Nate pick out the one that we're going to be competing for today. So our scenario is the first organism to escape from jail. All right. So the way we play is 3 cards.
Yes.
Well, I'm looking at your cards. Want to cut the deck?
Yeah, I'll cut it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very well.
So 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right.
Now, what we're going to do is look at our cards. And out of the 3 cards that we chose, there's one side that has the attributes, and then there's one side that is your actual organism. So I have to choose out of my 3 cards, which one do I think is the best suited for this scenario. And then I play that card face down so that Nate doesn't know what it is. All right.
All right.
Then we draw from our stack again, and we're assigned 2 attributes that we don't have any control over. So Nate's is salty, and mine has giant hands.
Interesting.
That's All right. Now we have our 2 cards in play. So now, because of my attributes, I have the ability to either make mine stronger or make Nate's weaker.
Do
you
I
want to
go
go first? Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go first. So out of these 2, I'm gonna give wearing too much perfume.
So I have giant hands and I'm wearing too much perfume. I think I'm going to give you Bumpy.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And you know what? I'm also going to give you a high-pitched voice.
Okay.
So your giant hands. You're wearing way too much perfume. I like to imagine it being Axe, and you have a high-pitched voice.
Okay. I think I'm gonna help myself out with this one and give myself scales. So now we reveal our characters. I'm a centipede, and you're a monster under the bed.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Always used to be scared of the monster under my bed.
Did you have a name for your monster?
No, I was too scared to ask.
Next, we're going to make an argument for why our creature is best suited for this scenario. So Nate, since you went first, you can go first with your argument.
Okay. So for starters, everyone hates those monsters, as a kid, I always would be terrified to look under my bed. And I feel like in jail, right? Who would want to run into the monster under the bed? So I think it already has a strong advantage. In addition, being salty, I interpret that of not only being like tasting salty or having like salt, but like being like salty, like a bad attitude, like a salty attitude. And it's like people like prison guards wouldn't want to run into a monster under the bed that's salty and being, all annoying and irritable. In addition to the bumps, this monster under the bed, it's bumpy. And bumps aren't really visually like appealing.
You make a strong argument. You make a very strong argument. But there's a few flaws that I noticed in your argument there, Nate. And I'm gonna go ahead and poke some holes in it. So it's a monster under the bed. So it has to stay under a bed, is my assumption, because if it's not under a bed, then it's just a monster. So it's kind of limited to being under a bed.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
You have a good point.
Okay. I'm going to stop there, and then I'll present mine, and then you can tear holes into my argument as well.
Okay.
So I'm a centipede. So centipedes are already probably in facilities and probably jails. I don't know. The hands, I mean, it's a centipede. So the term giant is probably relative to its body. So, I mean, it's small to begin with. Giant hands probably are still pretty small. Wearing too much perfume. I mean, aren't centipedes like, don't they naturally carry different like toxins and things to make them less ideal for predators? So this is nothing new to me. High-pitched voice, probably not going to do much talking if I'm escaping from jail. Scaly. Now this is the important one, because the only thing that I could see a centipede not being able to escape from jail is because somebody catches it and steps on it. People don't know to care for insects, and they think maybe they're gross and they just squish them. But if I have scales, the scales will act as body armor so that I can't get stepped on. And if I do, I'm okay. I deflect it, just keep on moving. Now I'm a centipede, so I slip through cracks, holes, easily, just, maneuvering around any little kind of nook and cranny that I can find.
Okay. So that was very well thought. And yes, one flaw that I find with your centipede that has giant hands, too much perfume, high-pitched voice, and it's scaly, right? Is that although it may have a better chance of, or I should say a better strategy to escape, centipedes aren't really that fast. And sure, like if you were to get stepped on, you're fine. You're going to keep moving. But monsters under the bed, whenever a kid or a child sees one and they call their parents to come in and check,
it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So, and remember, this is the first to escape from jail.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So it's a tough one.
It is tough, but it's a good thing we don't have to make the decision. So what we would like for you to do is comment down below. Who's the winner? Which animal is going to escape, or organism, I guess, is going to escape first from jail? And we'll see you next time on
Mugs with Buds.